Okay, welcome back for the second example. So this is a medium equation manipulation problem. It's still really simple, I think. There's just a few more steps involved. So for this one, we have Fg, which stands for force gravity, gravitational force. Fg, force gravity, equals big G, which is the universal constant for gravity, times mass 1 times mass 2, divided by the distance squared. And again, like I said in the second video, the goal is not to memorize this equation. Trust me, you have a lot of equations to memorize throughout the year. But right now, the goal is just for you to figure out how to move these variables around so that you can isolate the one you want. And in this case, the one we want is mass 2. So we want to get mass 2 by itself. All right, how are we going to do that? Well, the first thing we're going to do is we have to get rid of this denominator. We have to get rid of this d squared, the distance squared. How can I bring the distance squared over to the other side? Well, to get rid of a denominator, you multiply both sides by that variable. So I'm going to multiply both sides by the distance squared. Now, I didn't talk about this in the other video, although you probably saw it. Make sure you always show all your work. That's so important because on the AP exam, some of the test questions ask you in the free responses to show all your work for credit. So you have to do that. So now, by multiplying both sides by d squared, the distances here and here cancel. And now I'm left with, at this point, I'm gonna write it this way. Force gravity times distance squared equals big G times mass 1 times mass 2. Okay. Next step. Now we got rid of the denominator, which is awesome. Glad I got rid of the denominator, but I still need to get m2 by itself. How do I do that? Well, I have to get rid of G and mass 1. I have to figure out how to bring G and mass 1 over to the other side. Well, again, pretty simple. In order to bring, since these are all connected, in order to bring the G constant and the mass 1 to the other side, I'm going to divide both sides by big G and mass 1. Big G, mass 1. So over here, since I have a big G and mass 1, these will all cancel, and I'll leave m2 by itself. And that will give me a final answer of mass 2, if I just wanted to solve mass 2 equals the force of gravity times the distance squared divided by the universal constant of gravity times mass 1. And there is my answer. So again, so simple, just another extra, looks like just one extra step in this problem. Again, equation manipulation is just basic algebra. Can you solve for a variable? And instead of using numbers like you've been doing in algebra, we just keep everything in symbols. All right, we got one more video to do for a difficult one. But trust me, we're going to see much more difficult ones later on throughout the year. I have absolute faith in you. Let's do this!